of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would you mind if I turn that thing around so you can do it in the middle? Absolutely. So,
Those citizens, that's pretty easy tonight. So we'll move right along. Approval of the minutes. What we have to do, the 2025 October 15th regular meeting minutes has to be amended. Just a simple date switch from it stated the 17th of 2025. It should be October 15th of 2025. Could I have a motion to amend that? So moved.
okay. Do you all have copies of the October meeting? Not just September
That's what he's saying. It says September, but it's October.
yet. Thank you for the clarification. I'm all right.
Okay, all in favor?
All right.
Motion carries. Okay, correspondence, unfinished business. Discussion regarding the update on the Sterling water system filtration plan. Want to help us on that one?
We've been having meetings right along with this fellow that met with us back in August for the hearing we had. His name is Matt Cassidy. He's from RCAP, Wisconsin Regional Community something. But anyway, whatever. He's been a big help guiding us through the process. And up until recently, we had a government shutdown, which means we couldn't do anything with the federal government because there was nobody to talk to. Right now, we're going to have to review a list of engineers to get this project started. And this is a situation, it's almost like the chicken and the egg, which came first, because we have to, it's quite a process to contact engineers from the list that we've been provided. You gotta contact the people, you gotta get them, the first thing you do is not give them, they don't want you don't wanna bid from them. You wanna basically get to talk to them, find out if they're suitable to do what we wanna do. So this is not the same project that everybody else has, in all kinds of different ways. This is in some ways much simpler than some other projects. Anyway, so we're in that process, trying to get a hold of engineers to find out which one we want, then have them send it, like have a list of 3, get them send us each a bid, and we select one. And that's a job that we're going to have to do here as a committee. The question then becomes, where does the money come to pay them? Because haven't even started the process yet of trying to get money from the state or the federal government or anywhere else. So that, it's just like I said, which comes first, the money or the engineer? You can't very well hire someone if you don't know where the money's gonna come from. So there's a lot of coordination to do here, to say the least, but that's the next step, is to hire an engineer to design this project. We're making progress, it's just ever so slow.
Any questions, guys? All right.
Where did we get the original cost? You know, $3 million, if that was, you know.
We hired an engineer years ago, probably about 5 years ago, no longer than that, was when Russell was still here. We had an engineer come in, here's the name of the company, Leonard Engineering, and they came in and they talked to us and they provided us with an initial plan of what they thought we needed. And of course, that's at least 6 years ago now, because it was, like I said, Russell died over 5 years ago now. It'll be 6 years in January. But whatever the case is, it's that's where the initial plan came. There was only $2.5 million, maybe closer to 3 by the time we finished it all up. That company that man was dealing was a fellow named Jim Erickson, and we've contacted him since. He's moved on to a different company, and we asked him, because of all the time that's elapsed, can you give us an updated version of that? He's never gone any higher than $3.5 million with inflation and everything. The prices that we're getting from the federal government, who conducted a preliminary engineering report, which is a part of the process, we can't get around without it. They initially came up with a price of over $7 million. Same project, which we questioned. How in the world did you arrive at that number? They dropped it down to about 3.8. So But seriously, the first price they came in was over $7 million. And we reminded them, we don't have to buy the land, if we own the land, and anyway, one way or the other, they managed to cut that down. So the going price right now is somewhere between $3.5 and $4 million. That would be, I'd say that's a fairly safe estimate. And, so that's where we come up with the money, that's where we come up with the figures. But it started with the fact that we call somebody in here to just give us a ballpark figure of what they thought would be necessary to get this water treated. And that's, like I said, originally it was like $2.5 million. But the updated version was a little over 3, and now we're about almost to 4. Again, there's no guarantee it's gonna cost that, but it's just, you better plan on it, because you know, as well as I do, those things don't always go the way they're planned. So that's the latest I've got for that.
All right, we don't need any motions on that. The next one, discussion regarding a budget for the Sterling water system. All this is, guys, is, I need a motion to schedule a public hearing on Wednesday, December 17th, 2025 at 6:15 p.m. to consider the revised fees for the connection with the use of the Town of Sterling municipal water supply system as discussed at the October 15th, 2025 WPCA meeting. The Board of Selectmen, we have a meeting scheduled for Monday, November 24th, at 10:30, for these times, dates and times. So as of Wednesday, 12/17/25, at 6:15, we'll have the public hearing. Wednesday, 12/17/25, 6:30, WPCA regular meeting, and Wednesday, 12/17/25, immediately following WPCA regular meeting, we'll have the town meeting. There.
What's the again, Joe?
What's the dates again?
12/17.
12/17. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
12/17 is a public hearing.
Yeah,
All will be on the same night.
one right after the
One's
other.
following.
Okay, right after that, all right, that's where I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
Instead of having 3 separate nights or 2
Right.
separate nights, let's do it all in one night.
thank you.
Okay,
I make a motion that we do that. We schedule a town meeting for that time, with the approval of the Board of Selectmen.
I'll second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right. Discussion regarding David DeTusa, request for waive the sewer bill. We have not yet heard from Kyle Collins. He hasn't been able to get into the building, so I'd like to have a motion to just table that.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. New business. Any other business to come before the Water Pollution Control Authority? Yeah, one thing, we're in, Lynn can, talk a little more on this. We're in, serious need for a new radiator for the, generator down at the pump house, in, the field. You wanna elaborate on
I got a
that?
call the other day from Bob Wittenzelman, who is our contact with Whitewater. And he told us that one of their regularly scheduled times when they come out, they come 3 times a week out to the pumps, the water station. I have to say, I can't say the pump station, because the pump station is really the sewer station. This is the water we're talking about. And what they do is they test the generator. And that generator has probably been there as long as the wells have been, which would mean somewhere in the vicinity of 41 or 2 years. And they find that it's overheating every time they use it. If that's the original radiator, you can easily figure what happens with a radiator that just sits almost all the time and needs to be replaced. So they gave us a price of, I think it was, what was it? They're gonna give us an official bid next week.
Right,
But,
exactly.
we did get a bid from BGR Radiator right up here in Porter Pond, but they're actually, the company is down in the industrial park of Plainfield. We got a bid from them, a solid bid of $7,450, including installation. We're waiting for a bid back from Whitewater to see what they will charge to do it, but, this is one of those things that if you had a situation, if you had a perfect storm with power outage there, they needed the generator overheats and doesn't run. If you had a situation with that going on, those pumps would not be able to run. The 400,000 gallon water tank at the top of the hill would no doubt be full. So the residents are gonna be okay for water. What happens if there's a fire? And the fire trucks hook up to those hydrants with no water pump. So there's the problem. We can't afford to let this go. We've gotta do something about it, that's all. And it might even, if we can't, if we have to, I think it's a selectman, and we've had a discussion about this. I think they could call this an emergency situation to get it done. It's just that you can't really run the risk of not having the generator there, so.
Is this in the, like, kind of like the backside of the ball field?
Within the, chain link area, there's a
Right.
500-gallon, propane tank there, and right next to it's just a generator. And, so it's obviously doesn't run on diesel, it runs on propane, but it's just I dare say it's very old. We had much the same situation out here on the other side of this building when, before the new generator was put in here, we had to replace the radiator in that generator, for the same reason. It runs very, very seldom. You know what happens with a generator, with a radiator that doesn't get run. And so that was very expensive then, but that was many, many years ago. This is just an updated version of the same thing. So I'd say you should, take into consideration if you really think, I would talk to Bob when he gives him that. And just, my recommendation here is just talk to him and say, how much of an emergency is this? He's gonna understand if you get a better bid. He's gonna understand that's up to you, that's just business. But is it something we should be doing right now? Or is it something you can wait a while, I got the impression it was something they'd like to see fixed very quickly.
Yeah, I had that same impression.
Yeah.
To do that. So, I can act on that immediately, that's,
I would,
okay.
I wouldn't hesitate. Don't think you need to bring it here. Does everybody agree
Right.
that this is not something we can play with? We need to get it
Right.
done.
It's gotta get done anyway, so
Right.
you might as well just address it then.
Right,
I wouldn't hesitate.
okay. Very good. Any other questions on that, guys? All right, can I have a motion to adjourn?
No,
Okay. Okay, under, call it any other business to come before the Water Pollution Control Authority,
Mhm.
I took a look at the 2026 calendar. I have the third Sunday, the third Wednesday meeting dates, if you want to take a look at them now and set the dates for next year's meeting, do that tonight instead of having a special meeting tomorrow or what have you. I'm just bringing this up. If you don't want to, then that's okay. I don't care. I mean, I have, I don't see any problem with the date, but I don't, obviously I don't have all the other meetings or anything else that's going on.
Yeah, let's do it right now, then, if we can do that legally.
Actually, well, if you want, I can write the dates on the,
what did you read it to us?
Yeah,
okay,
just read it.
all right, okay.
So I would just make a motion to add it to the agenda,
Okay,
and then you can
That's a
vote
good
on it.
plan.
Yeah.
That's a good plan.
Okay, then I will make I move to add scheduling the 2026 meeting dates to tonight's agenda.
And one of those dates, just read them out, just so
Okay.
it can be,
January 21st, February 18th, March 18th, April 15th, that's tax day. May 20th, June 17th, July 15th, August 19th, September 16th, October 21st, November 18th, my dad's birthday, and December 16th.
did you make a motion to that effect? Neil? Did you?
Well, I
That's part of the
brought that,
I'll second the motion.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
It carries, motion carries. Very good.
I don't see why they can't be done, just reverse it with normal, that's all.
Yeah.
She thinks to publish the dates, that's all, so I should work.
Good thinking, yeah. Okay, now we have a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries, we're adjourned. The first day was the one.